Let's return to the UN General Assembly live.
That has far-reaching consequences, the weight of which is borne by the Cuban people and felt acutely in their everyday lives. These unilateral measures undermine the foundational principles of sovereignty, non-intervention and non-interference, as well as the maintenance of friendly relations among states, all of which are prerequisites for global peace and security of our civilized society. As such, St. Vincent and the Grenadines remains deeply concerned about their continued application. As a small state whose existence is dependent on the equal application of and adherence to international law, we firmly believe that in our most tense moments, international law must serve as our guiding compass, though it may be inconvenient at times or appears at odds with national interests. It is in these critical moments that we must defer to international law, as it is the foundation that enables our peaceful coexistence. Excellencies, in today's world, where trust is increasingly scarce, tensions are high, and diplomacy is fracturing, we must commit to being constructive. We are at a critical juncture where multilateralism is no longer being deferred to as our first port of call, and the legal frameworks that underpin our global order are under strain. Yet, St. Vincent and the Grenadines remains hopeful that good sense and principled engagement will prevail. It is in this hopeful spirit that we renew our call for the unconditional lifting of the embargo against Cuba as a first step to creating the conditions conducive for engagement between our two friends. We urge both parties to engage constructively to prevent a further deterioration of the situation. As a good friend of both the United States of America and Cuba, St. Vincent and the Grenadines urges a mature conversation between them to resolve this long-standing 20th century impasse. St. Vincent and the Grenadines will continue to stand in solidarity with Cuba and its people on this vital issue, and will support any genuine efforts that could foster a path towards progress. We underscore that dialogue rooted in mutual respect and understanding and undertaken without preconditions remains the only viable path towards a durable and amicable resolution of this long-standing issue. I thank you, and I wish you all peace profound.
I thank the distinguished representative of St. Vincent and the Grenadines, and I now give the floor to the distinguished representative of the Equatorial Guinea.
I will continue, as we were saying, listening to the statements as the UN General Assembly is debating on the resolution, the necessity to remove the U.S. blockade against Cuba. We were just listening to the permanent representative of St. Vincent and the Grenadines to the UN, also joining in the calls of support for Cuba and calling for an end to these unilateral coercive measures that has impacted the Cuban people and its development for over 6 decades.